I want to start with a small comparison. Thailand, a country that is roughly the size of Rajasthan, earns around $80 billion from tourism every single year. And if you have been to Thailand, you already know why. The moment you land, everything just works. The transport is clear, the signage makes sense, people are helpful, the food is everywhere, and it is incredible. The whole country feels like it was designed to make you want to come back. Now I want you to imagine same with India. We have Himalayas, we have Thar Desert, we have Varanasi, which is literally older than Rome. We have temples that were standing when most of the Europe were still figuring out how to do agriculture. We have 5,000 years of continuous civilization, a cuisine with more variety than most continent and natural landscapes that look like they belong in a fantasy film. And what is the result? Our share of global tourism is just 1.5%. Yes, 1.5%. Something is seriously broken, and today I want to figure out what. Before we get into the problems, I think it is worth understanding why this even matters. Because when most people hear tourism, they picture honeymoon packages and five-star hotels. They do not think of it as a serious economic policy conversation, but it absolutely is. Think about what actually happens when a foreign tourist spends 3 weeks in India. They are not just buying a hotel room, they are paying the fresher who works at a hotel front desk, a cook who have trained at the government ITIs, the driver who migrated from a small town in UP. They visit Amir Fort and they feed the local guide, the tea stall outside the gate, the artisan selling block prints on the street. And in the end, they post a reel and 3 lakh more people abroad suddenly add India to their bucket list. One tourist, one trip, and 15 different livelihood activated without a single factory being built. This is the power of the global tourism. This is why economists say tourism has one of the highest job multiplier effect of any sector, and it does not ask for a degree. The IIM graduate can build a boutique or resort startup in Kurg or in Rajasthan. The class 10 kid from Ladakh can earn 5 lakhs a year as a certified trekking guide. The women in Kerala can convert her home into a homestay and earn more than a government school teacher. Tourism absorbs everyone. Thailand earns 20% of its GDP from tourism. Spain earns 12%, and India is sitting at around 5%. That gap is not just a statistics, it represents millions of people still waiting for an economic opportunity that should already exist for them. So the question is, why India is still stuck at 1.5%? Let me walk you through what I think is actually happening. The first thing is image. And I know this is uncomfortable to say, but it needs to be said. Go to any international travel forum, Reddit or TripAdvisor or anywhere. Search for India travel advice for solo female travelers. What you will find is a generally mixed picture. There are incredible experiences, yes, but there are also enough cautionary stories to make a first time visitor hesitate. And the 2023 Eurometer survey confirmed it. Safety concerns are the single biggest reason why Westerner tourists skip India. No cost, not the flight distance, but the safety. Now, a lot of this perception is unfair. Kerala is safe, Himachal is safe, most of the Northeast is extraordinary. But here is the brutal truth about tourism. Perception is the product. You can spend 500 crore rupees on incredible India advertising. If one bad incident goes viral, for example, 2024, it takes exactly 6 hours for something to go viral globally. You have just undone 2 years of branding. The solution is not more ads, it is building the actual infrastructure, dedicated tourist place in every heritage city, a helpline that genuinely works in 10 languages, transparent transport pricing from airports so that no tourist first experience in India is getting overcharged by a cab driver. These are not big ideas, they are just decisions that have not been made yet. The second problem is something I call the last mile gap, and the easiest way to explain it is with a story. Imagine a tourist landing at Mumbai's Terminal 2 for the first time. She walks out and she is genuinely impressed. The infrastructure, the art installment, the overall feeling of the place is world class. Then she wants to visit Ajanta Caves, one of the greatest archaeological treasure on the planet. And suddenly everything falls apart. The transport options are confusing. There are no fixed prices for cab outside the station. When she finally reaches the site, the signage is minimal. There is no audio guide app, and the physical guide she hires accepts only cash. She leaves India having seen something remarkable but feeling slightly exhausted and let down. That is the experience she goes home and describes to people. Now, compare that to how Cambodia managed Angkor Wat, a country with a fraction of India's budget. Audio guides in 8 languages available on your phone before you even land. Clear entry pricing, crowd flow managed by time slots. The whole experience feels designed, intentional, like something actually thought about it from the visitor's perspective. India has Hampi, the ruins of the Vijayanagara Empire, one of the second largest city on earth. And tourists regularly leave because they could not figure out how to move between the sites. That is not a destination problem. That is systematic problem. Tourism is not just about having great places. It is about building the full journey. From the first Google search a person does while planning all the way to the last memory they carry on the flight home. But here is the part of this conversation that I think almost nobody is talking about. Tourism is not just an economic tool, it is a soft power tool. And India is sitting one of the greatest untapped soft power reserve in the world. Think about what South Korea did. 15 years ago, it was not a major travel destination. Then came K-drama, K-food and K-pop. And suddenly young people from Brazil, Nigeria, Indonesia and even India all wanted to visit Seoul. Their export boomed alongside their tourism. Their global image transformed because people had an emotional, personal connection to the country, not just a political or economic one. India already has that emotional pull. Yoga is a $100 billion global economy and industry, and it came from here. Varanasi moves people in ways that are hard to describe. Ladakh looks like another planet. The living root bridge of Meghalaya, the Ganga Aarti at night. These are not tourist attractions. They are experiences that change how people think. And every person who leaves India transformed goes home and becomes an informal ambassador of the country. They talk about it in boardrooms, they write about it, and they shape how government thinks about India. We are in a moment where India's global standing is genuinely rising. We hosted the G20. Our diaspora is running some of the world's biggest companies. But geopolitical respect built only on economic numbers. It lasts only as long as the number holds. But culture respects, the kind that comes from someone having actually experienced your country, your food, your philosophy. That is permanent, and tourism is how we build it. So, here is where I land on this. India does not have a shortage of destination. We probably have more than any country on earth, and the world genuinely wants to experience this place. That demand is real. What we have is a system problem, an image that has not been backed by real infrastructure, a last mile experience that keeps falling short after impressive airports, and a policy conversation that has not yet taken tourism seriously as a strategic priority. If India captured just 4% of global tourism arrival, still way below what we actually deserve, that is an additional 150 to 200 billion dollars in revenue every year. But honestly, the money is not even the most important part. The most important part is the story that gets told about India in every city where one of those tourists goes home. We have always had the civilization. We have always had the depth. We just need to build a system that finally lets the world experience it.